We are Tailgate Talk. Welcome into the show. I'm Matt Thomas. With me, we've got Trent Williams and Kyle Schumann. Kyle Mawhinney. We've given up on Kyle Mawhinney.
No, we
Kid,
have.
I have. Kid doesn't answer my texts. Never seen him anymore. I don't. I give up on him. But guys, how we doing?
Doing well.
I'm ready for
Uh,
what do you say, Matt?
Coco doesn't want to talk. He's having a bad day. Doesn't want to talk about it.
Yeah, it's not the greatest of days.
What's wrong, Coco? Tell the world.
Just not having a good days. Today's been a bad day.
Yeah, taking one down.
You have a bad day, you take it one down, sing a song, just turn around.
Speaking of bad days, worst segue ever. Speaking of bad days, at least bad halves. Penn State looked a little shaky in the first half against Northwestern. Wasn't the best, but pull away in the second half for a 41-13 win. What are our initial impressions off the bat here?
Defense looks good.
Yeah, defense looks really good.
Yeah, I feel like it's going to be a similar discussion we had to the Illinois game. They feel like two pretty similar games.
Copy and paste.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know. I get it. I mean, yeah, we play 4 quarters for a reason. At the end of the day, the score looks good, which is probably good from a national optics standpoint because most people aren't tuning into the Penn State Northwestern game. They just see that final score. They check out the box score, and honestly, it looks like we came in and did our job. But if you watch the game, it tells a different story. That first half, just not ideal.
Yeah, nothing was crisp. Just nothing. It was just bleh.
Yeah. From what you were just saying, Trent, about the national standpoint, I actually thought it was a little encouraging. Like after the Illinois game, I remember a lot of like the national stuff that I watched or I listened to was about, Penn State kind of let Illinois hang around, whatever. This week it was more so, you know what? Penn State took care of business in the second half. Like came out and just dominated. So, maybe a turn, but yeah, definitely was not the fight that I think anybody expected in the first half.
And I think other outlets too.
I disagree a little bit with that though, because I feel like a lot of people did expect a slow start.
Slow start, 10-10 at halftime, a touchdown with 2 minutes left in the first half to tie the game. Not necessarily, I think.
Yeah, but I think a lot of people. I'm not going to say that to that extreme, but I feel like a lot of people had mentioned like the possibility of a slow start. Northwestern, we always just seem to be a little sluggish there, and then on top of it, that 11 a.m. local time, Kyle and I experienced it in Illinois. I don't like it.
I was there too. It didn't bother me. Didn't faze me none.
You made the comment in our group chat saying that we prepared for tall grass, but they cut it too short or something like that.
Yeah, the grass was short. We're they caught us off guard. We're ready for that typical Northwestern long grass.
I feel like for as long as all of us has been here, Penn State just always sleepwalks in some capacity against Northwestern, just for whatever reason.
Yeah, I mean, let's put it this way. It's, you're going into an empty stadium to play a really bad team.
Okay, James.
It's probably hard to get yourself pumped up and motivated to, as much as you want to try. The place is empty. It's quiet. It's quiet as can be. You have to create your own energy, and until you get that spark to create your own energy, you sort of come out to a flat environment and play flat. It feels like.
But good teams win, great teams cover, and we did cover, and we kept our 30-point streak going.
We will come back to that point, Coco, because that has been a point of much contention the last couple of days. But yeah, it wasn't a good start. Penn State, the last team in the nation to not commit a turnover, and first play we commit a turnover, and it leads to 3 points. Not a good. I hadn't even freaking flipped the game over yet. I was still watching game day to see who Corso picked, and everyone's texting me, "What the hell just happened?" I'm like, "What?" Like
exact same thing. We were there, and everyone like freaking out in the chat, and I'm like, "The game didn't even, like, what are these people talking about?" I thought they announced like a major injury or something like that, and I was like, I turned it on. I'm like, what even just happened? Why did this game start? Like,
So the other thing I couldn't figure out, I watched it back again yesterday, and like, why didn't Singleton just let the ball go out of bounds? Like, it was either going to go out of bounds or it was going to go into the end zone for a touchback. I don't understand why he decided that he was going to field that kick to begin with.
yeah, I feel like
Like,
we've made that we made that mistake before with the whole like I don't know if it was Singleton, but there was a kickoff that was going out of bounds and we caught it and they gave us the fair catch, but it was like, why even catch that?
I think that was Singleton too against West Virginia. I think maybe, or maybe it was
Yeah.
Illinois. One of those two.
No, I think it was West Virginia. It was a home game. It was a home game. I'm pretty sure it was West
I
Virginia.
thought it was Delaware.
It could have been
It
Delaware.
might have been
but
Delaware.
but I remember being a
It all
home
runs
game.
Maybe it
together.
was Iowa. We just threw it every game.
but same
One of
thing.
those.
I mean, but he caught one that was he like caught it out of bounds. It's like, why'd you do that? And they did throw the flag. They gave us the penalty, but it's like, why even do that?
Yeah. So it was not a good start. The defense, I mean, played fantastic. Let's start with the defense. Let's talk about the good things first. But like, just I get it. It was Northwestern. I get Northwestern has one of the worst offenses in the Big Ten, but that was pretty impressive.
Yeah, and when you do it week in and week out.
Yeah.
Same about the opening kickoff and having Northwestern start in their red zone and only give up a field goal. It's a
yeah.
There's a silver lining there. Like, cool, we held them to a field goal.
Through like I think it was like 2 minutes left in the first half. They Northwestern mounted a little bit of a drive at the end of the first quarter and the start of the second quarter, but they had -5 yards. So that was pretty good. 12 tackles for loss for the day, 6 sacks. I think the defense was averaging 6 tackles for loss coming in. So they just doubled that in one day. Didn't get the turnovers, I think, the way anybody expected after, getting double-digit turnovers basically the last 2 weeks. But it got,
I think
got the
we're
job.
just getting a little spoiled with that.
Yeah. And then it was just tackles for loss.
Defense was great. I mean, to hold a team to 175 yards, impressive. D-line, yeah, stepped up big time. I mean, they've looked good now. Again, good to see. I feel like they got off to a sluggish start this season, and they've definitely have looked good the past few games. Kobe King, I thought Kobe King played a great game. I thought the linebackers in general have been playing much better. Can't complain about our defense. I mean, it's one of those things where there's very little I like Matt said, we haven't been facing these like high power offenses by any stretch of the means, but it's impressive it's just every single week.
Yeah.
If our front four can cause havoc and cause a pass rush without setting any additional pressure elsewhere, that just frees up our secondary to cover. That's like a perfect defense right there.
Yeah. One thing that's a little frustrating, it just seems to happen a lot, is like sometimes we just lose that pocket. And it's part of playing aggressive. I know that it's part of going after the quarterback by any means necessary. But it's just so frustrating when it's like we have them 3rd and long and they just lose the pocket and no one is within 20 miles of that first down marker, it feels like.
Yeah. I mean, they're playing man coverage on 3rd and long, which is good. And it's just I know, but
I get it. It's part of the defense. It doesn't make it any less frustrating, but that's such a small little nitpick when our defense is playing like they are.
It's predictable. That's what makes it funny and sad. But yeah, I mean, pass defense is unbelievable. I thought you mentioned the linebackers. I think they played really, really well in pass coverage on Saturday. Even Abdul Carter, that we've seen that bite him a little bit, in big moments last year. Tyler Elson, the scoop boy, just out there defending passes left and right. But and then KJ Winston, like, I've been on the KJ Winston train for a while, but he was really impressive. He's been really impressive this year. I was talking with Morgan, the other editor on Basic Blues. Go follow everyone, like us too. He's basically just like replaced Ziki Wheatley. Like, you barely even see Ziki Wheatley on the field anymore, and he's already unseated Keaton Ellis, 5-year player, team captain for that starting role. Like, he's playing really, really impressive right now.
Yeah, I don't want to look ahead, but I'm excited to see this defense against a good offense and see what we are truly made of.
October 14th against UMass. Is that what you mean?
Well, bye week.
We'll get into the bye week eventually here. That's what the fans really want to hear.
Toughest
sure,
game on our schedule.
I'm sure they
whole
do.
pod.
I'm sure they do. Let's go over to the not so good side of the ball. I mean, 41 points is pretty impressive, but it was a very, very slow start for the offense. And it's the second time now that we've seen this on the road where the offense comes out and they're just not in sync. And Aller and the wide receivers just don't seem like they're on the same page. Running game struggles to get going. What do you guys think? What are your thoughts?
How much would you chalk it up to Drew not looking crisp versus maybe us, like the media keeps saying, not having those playmakers on the outside? Like, what? I don't hear what you guys say on that.
I mean,
cliche. I think it's a little both. I mean, our receivers have not done a great job of getting open. They're making it tough on Drew, but at the same time, I mean, he's definitely
because they're only okay, or like we don't have like that guy, or
yeah. I mean, I think it's partly that. I don't think we have a stud like we've had. I mean, Kendra Ember-Smith, I think, has been doing a fair job. It's not to say he's up there in the same talent level as some of our number one receivers in the past.
Yeah, we don't have that Chris Godwin or Allen Robinson type guy. That one of those guys is what I'm saying.
No, and I think what we're finding out too is Aller is not going to take a lot of risks, and that's a good thing. That's a very good thing. But like, even to the point where it's now like, okay, you're playing a little bit too conservative. You need to take some shots down the field now. Like he's making and he mentioned it last week in post game and I think Illinois too. Sorry, everything starts to run together at this point where he's basically just like, we're taking what the defense is giving us. They're taking the deep ball away, so we're going to throw it underneath. And they just keep doing that over and over and over again, which is good. Like, he's doing what he's supposed to do. But at some point you have to say, all right, like, coverage be damned, we're going to take the top off this and we're going to use that cannon that he has. So I think it is a little bit of both for sure though.
Yeah. So overall, I mean, I'm probably most disappointed in the run game. Again, I felt like this was the game that we could really break it out. I mean, Northwestern, their run defense is really bad coming into this game, so I would have thought hopefully it was. But I mean, Katron, I'm guessing there's no news on that. Have you heard anything, Matt?
I have not since the end of the game. No,
I mean, probably not.
You're not.
Penn State is.
We'll probably hear Wednesday.
Maybe I miss it. What was the injury? Maybe I didn't see it. No one knows.
Yeah, I don't. At least I didn't see anybody.
It looked to me. It looked like almost like on the way he was standing, I don't look like he felt sick. Like he just looked sick.
He looked like he was in pain.
But yeah, or maybe that was the look. I don't know, but it was also like, he stayed padded, right? He never undressed or anything like that. So, I mean, good news is we have, it certainly didn't look too serious, and we have a couple weeks. So, I mean, it happened a good time, and it's honestly Trey Potts. I mean, shout out, he provided a little spark there. This is, the second game where our offense was struggling. Illinois came in and provided a little spark with that touchdown pass. Here again, provide those little sparks.
Just hang on, just to close the loop on Katron. So Franklin's update after the game was that he doesn't know and hadn't gotten the full medical report. So I don't know if it's something just like straightforward and that, like, you think he just rolled his ankle, like that would be something pretty easy to do. So I don't know. He'll be asked about it on Wednesday night and he won't answer the question, but we'll at least maybe get a little bit better sense of where it is. But yeah, Trey Potts, man. I mean, he was a very nice surprise.
He was hitting holes hard and also just ran a nice route towards there at the end of the game. And ironically, this is my last call question, so I'm just gonna throw it in right now. you guys want to see Trey Potts more involved in the offense? We have Katron, we have Nick. I kind of I kind of want to see him more because he brings that spark, especially if our wheels are slowing down right now. He seems to be that guy that just bolt of lightning in the offense. He's not a fast guy, he's a good overall player.
I think we will. I think especially like regardless, I think of whatever the injury is for Allen, like let's be honest, it's UMass next week. Like I think you're gonna see a lot of Trey Potts. But yeah, he's been playing really well. And it kind of just segues into the question I wanted to ask next and talk about is there something wrong with Nick Singleton? Like he doesn't
It's,
look the same as he did last year, right? Like it's not just me.
I feel like it's not just him. I feel like it's our just running game. It's just been
I was gonna say, like, I feel like that's what I was gonna say too, because back to Katron, like neither of those guys have just looked spectacular. I mean, they're getting the job done. It's I feel like we have done a decent job of getting the yards when we need them, and like third and short. Like I feel like our backs have done a good job getting the yardage, but yeah, they just don't have that. To go back to the word we just used for Trey Pot, they don't seem to have that spark that they had last year. That that glimmer of when they come in, it's like just action packed and tough pounding the ball. I don't know. It's been disappointing. I don't think there's anything wrong with them. I think it's whether it's schematics, whether it's our opponents, whether no matter what it is, the fact that it's both of them tells me that it's just something else.
Yeah, I mean, although, well, wrong isn't probably the right word, but like Katron still seems kind of like Katron though. Like, let's be honest, if he got into the open field, he's gonna break off a 20-yard run. He's not breaking it away. So like we still kind of seen that. Like Singleton, just like I don't know. Like there was that example that we threw out in our text thread on Saturday. There was that one run that he got to the outside, and I felt like last year he would have just turned on the Jets and he was gone. This year he got caught and it was a 12-yard gain or whatever it was. Like
I
I don't know.
I, I feel like our O line has been good for getting like 3-4 yards of transfer when we need it. But it's not just Singleton, it's not just Kitchen. I feel like all three of our running backs are just like we're not gonna hand that huge play, and everyone keeps saying, "Where's this big run play when we need it?" And maybe we just don't have it. Maybe we're just gonna be
Yeah, I
three,
mean,
4 yards, and we gotta settle for it.
I haven't seen many like glaring holes where it's just like, man, if you would have just hit that hole, there's no one there. Like the holes aren't there where it's like, typically your big run plays oftentimes come through, a hole that you could drive a truck through, as they say. I just haven't seen those holes open up. A lot of times they're getting hit early in yardage. I mean, they're getting hit right at the line of scrimmage pretty often. But it's not to say our offensive line has been bad because I mean like I said,
Yeah.
I feel like we can get a push when we need it. It's just they're just not controlling the
Yeah.
gaps as much.
Yeah. They just haven't been, I think, what everybody kind of expected they were going to be this year, which
Yeah.
I mean now you want to talk about potential issues. Your two starting guards coming into fall camp are now hurt. Landon Tangwall is medically retired and JV Nelson went out on Saturday too. So
Yeah. So
not
I
great.
mean Nelson is probably obviously Tangwall, is preseason, but we've talked on here about how we've been through, a quarter of the way through the season and our injuries were minimal to nothing. And this is probably the first, true blow we've taken. It's going to happen at some point. You got to prepare for it. We talked even with Katron. I don't think Katron is as serious, but we talked about, in the offseason, Trey Potts, one of the biggest pickups for him was the fact that, like, if one of these two backs goes down at some point, he is huge added depth on that roster. I think our offensive line is, let's put it this way. We can better afford to lose someone on that line right now better this year than at any other point in years past. So it's not a good thing, but it's better than we have better people behind him than we've ever had in the past few years.
While we talk about offensive injuries, do you guys know like latest on Trey Wallace? I don't know what his current. I know like
the the saga of Trey Wallace. So
But
I mean,
let's see if Matt has any plus information, insider information that
deep
we can put behind a paywall here.
deep insider information. He's hurt. I mean, he's just like
Penn State doesn't make it easy.
no, they do not. They just refuse. It's like at the same time, the insider information I'll give you is that I love to write those articles because it's so easy because there's no information, and you just know that it's just here's no information. It just goes. But yeah, like it's definitely it's a medical staff thing. Like that's what Franklin said after Illinois, and he's been questionable every week since. So there's just something where he's not playing where they think he can be playing. And Franklin even said it's something to that effect. I'm butchering it last week, I think. But did he even get any snaps on Saturday? I don't think so. He played against Iowa and he was basically non-existent. But
just get him ready for Ohio State. Shoot him up with IVs, shoot him up with painkillers, whatever you gotta do. Just get him in there.
Bye week is coming at a great time. But I think the only other thing I wanted to hit on this game is what about that last touchdown? That bad beat?
I mean,
people need to calm down. Like one for those idiots that are saying like, "Oh, he was faking the kneel." No, you guys are idiots. It was a QB counter or a draw
right.
or whatever.
We're cutting.
But when I first seen it, I was like, I'm pretty sure we just fake kneeled. After, depending on the angle, if you look at it from behind, it's like, all right, clearly he was just faking a run.
We were lined up 4 wide.
No, it was the angle from behind when you slow it down that makes it look like he was faking a knee.
I'm the opposite. I feel like the angle from the side makes it look like he's kneeling. Like,
no, I don't think so at all.
Because in this, like looking at the situation, when I seen it live, and like someone that here was like, did he just fake knee? I'm like, no, he didn't. And then they showed a replay. I'm like, oh my God, he did. But then they showed like 3 more. I'm like, all right, no, he definitely didn't. But
I think
I don't know.
It's a 4 wide that should be the giveaway.
Well, let's take it back a step. How bad was that interception that led to,
that was horrible.
led to that? Oh my God. It's like
I mean, in all fairness, Dave Hardy was wide open. So like it was
like,
but there was like 15 yards between him and the receiver.
And people on Twitter are like, he needs to be investigated for having Penn State to cover because that was an atrocious interception. But yeah, I mean, the interception was brutal, and then the play itself it's nothing special, not like this crazy trick play or anything. It was wide open across the middle, went for a touchdown. It was one play. So running one pass play is running up the score. It's not like we came out and ran 15 pass plays down the field to march 98 yards down the field. It was one play that just happened to break for a touchdown.
It's not like we threw a bomb either. It was what, like 30 yards, whatever it was.
That
wide open.
Explosive play.
Yeah.
Everybody wants
and
explosive
play. Like so wide open across the middle. So that's the thing. It's like I see what they're saying because it's not, you start to establish a track record here. It's not the first time. So you probably get less of the benefit of the doubt. But, college football is that way. We talk about the NFL. The Eagles game was ugly this weekend, Kyle, right? Doesn't matter. You get the win. And
it's a good atmosphere. Hey,
but there's no optics.
The Birds are 4-0. The Birds are 4-0.
Aside from that, there's no optics in the NFL. Like, it doesn't matter how you win. It's purely a win is a win no matter what. In college football, optics mean more than like – you need to win by the number you're supposed to win by. Covering the spread is a legit thing because optics actually play into, the playoff chances of your team and the future, the run you're going to go on as a team. Optics actually matter. So I think it's just the track record he's building for himself that, we would get the benefit of the doubt. But that particular one, like I said, we're talking one play that went for touchdown.
Yeah, it'd be a different story if there were like 15 seconds in the game too. Like there's 2 minutes and 20 seconds left. Like
with a backup quarterback. Like it's not like Drew is in there slinging it.
Maybe we should put him in. He needed the practice after that outing. No, just kidding. Just kidding. I mean, yeah, I think we've talked Northwestern to death. 6 ways to Sunday.
It's time for our hardest opponent of the season.
The bye week. What are
Yeah, we
those
talked-
numbers, Coco?
You're the one that wrote down the podcast.
He's not prepared. He's not prepared. What was it? 3 and 6? I think that's what we no 4 and 6. 4 and 5. 4 and 6.
Oh,
some
he's not
numbers.
prepared.
Some number. You were the one that brought it up beforehand. I wasn't even going to touch on it. So James Franklin's record coming out of buys is
Bad.
not what you would like it to be. It was, and it's thrown off a little bit because he's got the 2 buys, and I forget what season it was, but then the no buy in COVID irons it out, evens it out. Okay, well, I've been
Now
I was trying to
look
look it up, install my computer for
All right,
so
let's.
I want to know now. I gotta look back. That year that we had
All
two
right.
buys. The year we had 2 buys. Do we lose both those games after?
I think so.
I'm curious now.
I'm
That's
pretty
bad.
sure we did. I'm pretty sure we
All
did.
right.
Probably did.
Let's just summarize. We have, while you guys look up whatever you're looking up, we mentioned it, preseason. The schedule sets up so nicely for us. Most teams would look at this bye week and be like, oh man, like it'd be so nice to have Ohio State right after the bye. Like for us, it sets perfectly that we have this UMass cupcake game right before that Ohio State game, just because of our track record coming out of these bye weeks. Franklin could sit up there and, until he's blue in the face and say, oh, focus on UMass. This 2 weeks is prepping for Ohio State. The team may not know that, but
he said it. He said as much after the game that they're going to start looking ahead a little bit. So, and it's 3 and 6. I was right the first time, Coco. So you can take that and go shove it. So, yeah, I mean, it just not good, not good coming out of buys. And now, granted, it is a little bit skewed, I think, because if you look back, pretty much every single time you're playing like Ohio State or Michigan State when they're good games that you might lose even if they weren't coming off a bye. But
but in those situations, we shouldn't be. Last year we lost 41-17 to Michigan after the bye week.
Yeah, we
got spanked.
Shouldn't have to worry about that this year. Hopefully we can use that.
I'm still taking UMass. I'm taking blindly UMass to cover. So whatever the spread is, UMass to cover.
Let me say, if UMass, I'm not going to go with covers, but if UMass beats us, I'm retiring from Tailgate Talk. I will never appear on another episode. I will never appear on another podcast again.
I thought you were saying give away your tickets because we lose to UMass.
Can you imagine?
I can't do that.
Can you imagine the grumbles in Beaver Stadium if it's like 7-0 at the end of the first quarter?
Yeah, there'll be some boo birds out.
Yeah,
it better not be. I can see it though. It's sad, but hey, we're a second half team. That's just what I told myself. It was tied at 10. I just said, guys, second half team.
No, you refer to yourself in your head as guys.
I wasn't watching the game myself.
Well, you said I said to myself, guys, it's a second half team.
Well, yeah, so. You're right. Plural.
Trent's got dual personality disorder. So it's a very serious thing. So, yeah, I mean the stretch after this bye, after UMass, the stretch after that is, what makes or breaks the season. It's gonna be interesting. So just hold on to your hats. So, I think we can kind of tie this all into your question that you ask every week, Trent. But how are we feeling? How are we feeling about Penn State's odds to make the playoff?
Kyle, go ahead.
Go ahead.
Go ahead, Kyle.
What were you at? He needs to know where he was at.
I think you bumped to 22% last week.
No way.
Yeah.
You did.
Did I really?
Yeah.
Ooh, that's a little. I may have been too optimistic after that Iowa win. I'll bump down to 20 because only Michigan looked pretty good against Nebraska, and I will bump it down to 20.
Yeah,
which is still, a 1 out of 5 chance is still pretty good.
Matt, for whatever reason, I don't have what you bumped down to unless you just stayed the same.
I think I was at 30 last week. I'm pretty sure
I didn't record yours. I don't know why. I could look back, but my very unofficial ugly random note card that I've been keeping here.
It's better than how Coco does pick your plate. But I was at I was at 30, I think. All his fingers and toes. That's how he does it, by the way. I was at 30. I think I'm down. I think I'm gonna go to like 27, kind of back to where I was the week before. I mean, ultimately, I predicted we were gonna lose to Ohio State at the beginning of the year anyway, but two very not great starts on the road doesn't make me feel good about that game. So, but ultimately, I still think we can get Michigan at home. So,
So I was at 28. I'm actually gonna go with Matt. I'm gonna drop back down to 25, which is where I was to start the year. Not a big drop, but we have Ohio State on the road, and we've had 2 road tests so far. Neither of them have looked good. We've salvaged both of them. I get it, but the difference is, you start like that against Ohio State. There's no salvaging it. There's no coming back from a sluggish start. So, I think we all dinged them down a little bit this week. I'm still optimistic we could definitely beat one of those 2 teams for sure.
Coco is not so much. Everyone, just so you remember, he predicted we're gonna lose to both.
Well, he started the year at 10%, so he's sitting at 20. He's still in a good spot.
Like I said, until I'm proven otherwise. I'm like those planes circling the airport, but you can't land. I'm in that holding pattern.
Is that what happened to you going to Charlotte?
Yep. That's what happened.
All right. Do we have a pick your plate for other games this week?
Yeah, I think we do.
I got
this was supposed to be a short episode.
We're only at 30 minutes.
Yeah, but
dragging this out. Red River Shootout, Oklahoma, Texas by 6.5.
Oklahoma covers, but Texas wins.
You do score prediction for that one, Matt, since we're not doing a Penn State one?
No, we're not doing a score. We're not doing a score. We could.
You could have just won a jersey. Oklahoma jersey.
Yeah. See, that's why you do score prediction.
Well, go ahead, Matt. Make a score prediction. If you hit it, I'll personally give you $20.
Could be more than $20. Texas 45. Oklahoma, whatever. 6 minus 40. 40. It's 40. Yeah, we're gonna do that.
Trent, what do you got?
I'm gonna go with Texas to cover.
I'm also gonna take Texas.
I think they're pretty legit this year.
I just want to see points in that game.
I think you'll get it.
Alabama, A&M. That's at A&M over under 49.5.
Oh, I got confused. I was like, why are we betting Alabama? You said you had a sicko game. I'm like, we're betting Alabama A&M.
No, that's the last one.
Yeah, no. Alabama and what's the over under?
49.5.
Under.
Under for Matt. I'll go. It's gonna be an over. I'm gonna go over. I'm just gonna throw it out there.
I'm going with the under too. I really like Alabama to cover though.
Yeah, not a lot of points, I don't think. Alabama's offense is not the offense we are used to these last couple of years at Alabama. What's your sicko, White Coco?
That's after this one. Kentucky, Georgia, undefeated SEC matchup. Georgia's here by 14.5 at home.
I don't know. Georgia's a tricky one this year.
Go ahead.
No, I just feel like with Georgia, your biases start coming into play, and you just think Georgia's going to turn around and start crushing everyone. And week in and week out, they just haven't shown it. So, with that being said, I'm going to take Georgia.
Yeah, I was going to say, I feel like last week, they get into a bit of a dogfight. They pull it out at the end. I think that's going to be what flips the switch for them. I think they're going to.
How soft are they going? Jordan Hare is such an easy stadium, though. Every time we go in there, we blow them out. I don't know what they were struggling with.
There's not us. Oh, speaking of Jordan Hare and Auburn, at the Eagles game, Independence flew at the Eagles game. That's the same Eagle we saw in Auburn. I know, Matt, you did it, but we saw it in Auburn.
Did he remember you?
He did. So I thought
he shit on you.
I thought that was cool.
I'm not gonna lie, Kyle. That's a pretty cool fun fact.
There you go. There's a little tidbit.
Didn't know the Auburn Eagles traveled.
Yeah,
Well,
that whole
they
bird
flew there.
thing.
Did he fly up himself or did he travel up with the rest of with his owner?
He flew all the way up.
No.
And they gave him a little fishy treat afterwards. So
Now, let me ask you a question. Did they tell you that it was Independence from Auburn, or did you just say, "Oh, that looks like the eagle that we saw last year"?
that exact same eagle. No, they said Independence from Auburn University.
Is that what kind of eagle is Independence? I know they have a couple different kinds.
Bald eagle.
It's a bald eagle because the eagle they flew for the Georgia game was not a bald eagle.
Kentucky, Georgia. I'll take Kentucky. Put that on the board there.
You gotta love tailgate talk. Come for Penn State football. Get a 10-minute discussion on Auburn's Eagles.
Texas State, Louisiana. Don't know anything about these teams. Louisiana's fair by 1.
Yes, we should be talking about them then.
Who's the best record this year?
I don't even know. I saw it on the ESPN app.
You sent it out. No. I meant of us. I meant of us.
Oh, I'm asking about them too. Shit. Hold on.
Whoever has the best record, I'm gonna take their pick.
Matt 16-10. I'm 15-11. You're 14 as well. So we got a game on our hands here.
Yeah, we're all but 500. I'll take whatever Matt takes. I'm gonna ride his coattails here.
Well, I feel like both teams are very, very good.
Are they in the Sun Belt? Is that what they're in?
Yeah, that sounds about right.
It's about all I know. All right.
The great analysis that we have here. I'm trying to just see. I'm just trying to get any more information about either of these teams. Let's take it. Louisiana to cover. I felt good about them all year long. I think they got a really strong team. I like their quarterback.
You were saying that. I do remember you saying that this offseason.
Trent's riding with Matt, so
we were actually going to start a Louisiana Tech podcast.
It's not Louisiana Tech.
Oh, we're going to start a Louisiana.
There we go.
We could like corner the market.
Yeah, it's called Louisiana Luncheon. I was gonna check.
Didn't Texas State beat Baylor at the beginning of the season?
Yes.
Yeah, they did. But
I'll take Texas State.
A lot of people almost beat Baylor. Baylor has not looked.
That went way too long.
That one went long. It's all right. That's what we do.
There wasn't even there was not even a Penn State game in there.
It's what we do.
Disgusting.
Do you think Penn State covers the spread this week?
No. We'll somehow lose this week.
Our offense can't get, off to a much more slower start. So, all right, last call. Kyler asked his.
Yep.
Go ahead, Trent.
All right. So last call this week. I don't know why I've been thinking this, but when Bo comes into the game, for his garbage time, it's just like such a complete opposite of what we watched from Drew all game. That just sits in the pocket and looks to throw every last second he can. And then Bo comes in and just is like takes off like a rocket. And he looks insanely fast. I don't know if that's because Drew looks so slow when he runs the ball and it's just polar opposite or not. But would you like to see in a big game like Ohio State bringing Bo in for a series for a different look? When you have Ohio State prepping and defensively scheming for a quarterback like Drew, to just throw him in a big moment and try to, use his feet to take advantage of the defensive schematics.
I think they will. I mean, I think Franklin has been kind of hitting on that all year long, that there is this package for Bo and, whatever. And I think you're obviously not going to show it. I thought they might get close to showing it on Saturday if things were not clicking and continued to not click, but obviously they did turn around. So, but I think you will. I think you will see it.
I agree. I think they always say get your playmakers the ball. So Bo's shown that he can make plays when he's in. So no reason not to have some packages for him or do a little throwback to when we had Tommy Stevens in there. And he had
Yeah, I mean that's one thing. I don't think we can go with that like two quarterback set that we've seen in the past because I mean let's be honest, what is Drew doing out? He can't run around. Like so I mean we've seen him try to block. A for effort. So you probably can't run that little two quarterback set we've seen in the past, but I'd like to see him get in there in like a critical moment, like not just blowout time, like not just when things are bad, but like a random time in the close game where you just bring him in and see if his feet can do some magic and catch the defense off guard.
All right, me. Well,
Yeah.
okay.
Yep.
Which
I was actually
player?
just sending an email here. I was trying to focus in.
Wow, that's very unprofessional on all accounts. So let's hope your boss isn't watching this, Coco. Which player has impressed you the most through 5 games?
I was just saying Drew before this game.
Well, I'm gonna steal Kyle's thunder here. If we're going from
Dom DeLuca?
Yes, I think I
My
might have
guy.
to say I might have to say Dom DeLuca.
As president of the Dom DeLuca fan club, there is a formal, initiation process, there's paperwork, but
He was just sending an email about it right now.
seriously, we meet on Wednesdays at 5 p.m. You guys want to come? No, Dom DeLuca's been awesome though.
Yeah, even on special teams, like this weekend again. I mean, you just see it every tackle that's made on special teams. It feels like it's Dom DeLuca. He's just all over the place. He's feels to be their big key moments. Now, obviously, if we're looking at total production, I'm not going with that. But if we're going to relative to our expectations to start the season to what we've seen, probably Dom DeLuca.
I also thought Zane Durant's has some flashes.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say.
No, we'll take him. I can't be everyone's fan club. I thought he's been. I thought he's been pretty good this year.
Yeah, I mean, he has high expectations. I think people do expect a lot out of him, but yeah, he's come out and he's performed well. I mean, obviously this last game where he's got 4 tackles and 2 tackles for loss, kind of
that sack he had where he broke the quarterback. That was cool to watch.
Yeah, didn't you do that to someone in high school? I'm pretty sure you did, didn't you?
Yeah. Took someone's knees out or whatever he did, and
been there. No, you just crushed the guy. So you admit that you take people's knees out when you play, because that's not what Zane Durant did. Zane Durant just crushed him. He's like yeah, twist your ankle when you're getting up off the ground. Like that's what we're gonna do. Okay, all right.
My real quick honorable mention, Liam Clifford. Again, from a total production standpoint, maybe not, but he's had some. It felt like big moments, big third down catches, big, really good, impressive catches. He's been a lot. Shout out Sean was at the game this weekend, Kyle. Yeah,
that probably turned why the offense.
Screw it. While we're to the flip side, you're disappointing player through what number game is this? 5.
We're on a heater. I mean, I think it's got to be Dante Cephas, right? Like everyone had such high expectations for him coming in as a transfer, and even as those expectations kind of got tempered through fall camp, like he might not start, he might not be ready yet, and he might need some time. Like it's still been not that great. Drops have been a problem. It hasn't been what everybody I think expected.
I hate to do this, but I'll probably take Singleton. It just again relative to expectations to start the year, he's probably been the most disappointing. Now, if we're looking at overall production, probably not, but relative to expectations, I'm gonna have to go with Singleton.
I'll go Theo Johnson. I feel like again, relative to expectations, I thought he was gonna have more of a breakout year and be fighting for a high round draft pick in the NFL, but I don't know, he hasn't shown anything to be that guy.
Now, see, if we were really marketing Wizards, what we should have said was Drew Allen. And then we market that and we get a bunch of hate clicks. But we're not going to do that because that's the kind of show that we are. We're an upstanding show. At least 2/3 of us are. So
it's the kind of stuff Matt pulls on his articles.
We're an upstanding show.
Whatever works.
Upstanding show. 2 of us have hair. 1 doesn't.
Matt's headline would be like, this player has been the most disappointing
Click, click,
This-
click, click.
Yeah, picture of Drew Aller. It's actually talking about like some deep squad player that why hasn't he been on the field yet? But yeah, I know it's very
All right,
sad that
let's-
Trent doesn't have hair and can't shave his face.
Let's ha-
But all right,
Let's have a good bye week.
we're wrapping. Yeah,
I have 10 times as much hair on my head as you.
no, we're talking about shaving your face. But all right, if you're still watching with us, thank you for putting through this. Like, subscribe. You probably are if you're at.
This was a rough
45.
episode.
It was
This
a
was
rough
rough.
episode. Yeah,
This was
These are-
rough.
These are the good ones.
You didn't come to play, Coco. So you're like James Franklin coming off the bye, didn't come to play. But all right, we're closing it.
Wrap
now.
it up. Wrap
We
it
are-
up.
We are Tailgate Talk.
There we go.